Right now, we're live, everybody. Hey, hey, welcome to the show. It's me and Bilal tonight, and
Hello, hello.
I'm trying to get to the video so I can see comments.
Well, anywho, how you guys doing? Long time no see, but Tony had some things to do, so I don't know if you want to get into it, but basically we had to take a little bit of a break, but we're back
Mm,
now to our regular
no.
schedule, hopefully.
Hopefully, my dad is sick. I'm not going to get into details about
Yeah.
it. And he needs me. He needs me and my siblings and my mom. So I would like to promise that we will go back to a normal schedule, but I don't like to lie. But I really do hope everybody's understanding in the situation. And when I know more, I will say more. But until then, eh, only a few people know, and
Yeah.
that's good enough for me. But I need to take care of my father. So
Yeah.
yeah, carrying on with that, another update real quick before we get into the actual Carole Baskins thing is Shani for Christ got banned from Twitch. And she got banned for quote unquote nudity. And I've seen the picture because people took screenshots of it.
Oh God.
I don't know why y'all take screenshots. Stop that. That's nasty. I know her sex tapes and stuff are all over Twitter. I have sadly ran into it doing research on her. No, stop that. That is rude. But
You people should be put to jail for assault.
it's really, but the thing is though, it wasn't really nudity, it was a butt cheek. And I was, and e-girls do worse than that. And I'm not trying to defend Shani. I think this is perfect karma. But after 2 days of her crying, hissy fitting, like she was more upset about losing her Twitch than her losing her kids. And I kind of wish she had that same energy. And Rev made 2 videos, and you can see this all on Zero to Manic 3.0. I have shared the videos, and she made a video that was very dark. So trigger warning there. She wanted to euthanize herself
Oh
legally.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she wanted to unalive herself, which I do not support. I don't care what situation you're in. You better get the fuck up. You better
But
do so. You know what I mean? But
so
losing a channel is not something. But anyways, she moved to Rumble, and she's happy again. Imagine
okay.
that.
Well, I mean, I might start a rumble to be honest with you.
I
Everyone's
was
throwing
thinking
fucking.
about doing it too.
I mean, let's go. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty dark. But yeah, so
Thank
that's
you,
the
Grandma.
situation.
Hey, Grandma Shark.
Hi,
Sorry.
Grandma. How? Hi,
Bushes.
Voodoo Lounge. Hi, Steph B.
Steph.
Hi,
The
in the
Voodoo
bushes.
Lounge.
But anyway, I'm doing this because we're going to talk about Carole Baskin. I honestly wasn't thinking about talking about Carole Baskin, but Jonesin, I got to educate Jonesin because I think Carole Baskin's innocent. I don't think she killed her husband, and now I'm going to have to prove a little bit of like disprove a couple of her theories. Now I can't say 100% she's innocent because no one knows, but
Yeah.
I can basically go through each of the whole tiger theory and all that stuff. But to start off this live, since she wanted to start her rap song, you know, we have to start a little bit of our own. I can't do rapping, so I just grabbed this video about this guy who's rapping. So let's start it off. 49 seconds. Let's go.
Okay.
We all know Carole is the heroine of the story. All the other greedy people just wanted money and glory. Carole Baskin is innocent and you shouldn't judge her. And Howard is her strong, new, dominant lover. Carole is as cool as a cat can be. You ain't gotta pay 10 grand or 3. Shit, I'll go to Tampa and hit that for free. She puts the ass in assassinate if you ask me. They say she killed her ex-husband. It wasn't her. Then she fed him to the tigers. It wasn't her. Then she got all of his money. It wasn't her. They never even found a body. It wasn't her. Then she got a new lover. It wasn't her. There ain't nothing to uncover. It wasn't her. Carole, you know I believe ya. He probably flew to Costa Rica. Carole came in, her and Don had an argument, just a little harmless fight.
Hey, yo, you cool, Cassie.
All right, that's my okay.
It's so funny he put that to the song It Wasn't Me, which is a cheating song, which means it's like you saw me here, but it wasn't me.
All right.
So it's kind of
she did get all his money though. I mean, maybe not all the secret money. Maybe not the 15 extra million that he hid somewhere.
It's probably in a coffee jar somewhere, like in a coffee can, buried 6 feet. It probably is.
All right, so in the bush, it says she so killed her husband. I just don't believe she fed him to the tigers. Well, first off,
Well,
let me remove the. I don't want to like make this guy look bad because we just use a song.
oh yeah, that's a bad image. Thank you for the
Yeah.
song though, the Carole Baskin. So
Yeah, we got to add a little levity. But basically, the whole situation is that everyone has these multiple theories, but that was started up. One was the tiger theory. The tiger theory is probably the most ludicrous theory of them all. The main reason why that's the most ludicrous theory of them all is because someone did a video 2 years ago. I'm not joking. It was called Film Theories, I think the video. And basically, film theories
wait,
highlight.
is that the same guy that does game theories?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he did film theories when the whole tiger thing came out. And he discussed how it was very impossible at the time for her to feed her husband 2 tigers.
Mhm.
One of the problems with the theory is that, and I can show you the live a little bit, not the live, the actual video. I'm sure Film Theory is not going to strike us for playing a little bit. Hopefully not.
They're on YouTube. Like they're like up to Cutie Pie. Like they give him everything. So I would not.
We'll play a little bit of it just in case. But basically, let's leave the evil eyes of Carole Baskin for all the people who think that she killed him. But basically, the gist of the video is that Carole, she's so forged. Well, yeah, she forged the documents. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't think anyone can doubt that. But the thing is that she only had 1 tiger, and the tiger was 2 years old at the time. The other ones were like little cats, and I think we'll play it a little bit. Let me see.
They're like bobcats. I know her first cat was a bobcat, and that's what Dawn got her.
Yeah.
But she had like a lot of kittens, like a lot of baby.
Okay, so this is the part with 1997, the 132 exotic cats. Let's play this part, and we're gonna see like what's it.
Her eyes are scaring me.
Let me see. Actually, I went to the wrong video.
Okay. Like I was because the eyes are kind of scaring me. And I will say this: when we all watched Tiger King, and they were introducing Carole, and she was like, I'm Carole Baskin, and I have an animal rescue, and she's showing off her tigers, and then she's like, and my husband Don, he's dead. We can't find him. And then they play the music, and you sit back and you go, "Oh my God, she killed him."
Yeah, well,
that's the Netflix. Initial reaction, is what I'm saying.
But this is the whole explanation of why it's impossible for her to feed her husband to cats. Let's go.
Probably had nowhere near enough adult tigers to actually do the job. You see, in the 90s, the vast majority of cats that were kept at the Big Cat Rescue were much smaller cats, like bobcats and lynx.
We started in 1992 with the purchase of a bobcat who was going to be killed by taxidermists at an auction. The following year, we bought 56 bobcats and lynx from a fur farm. The next year, 28 bobcats and lynx. The following year, 22 more bobcats and lynx.
In the docuseries, former exotic animal owner Dennis Hill suggests that he sold Don and Carole their very first tiger in 1995, just 2 years before Don's disappearance.
I believe that I sold Don and Carole Lewis their very first tiger in 1995.
So even if Don and Carole bred their new tiger immediately, and Big Cat Rescue did breed its cats back in those days prior to Carole taking over, none of those tiger cubs would have been full size by the time that Don disappeared, considering it takes tigers about 5 years to reach its full size. It's also highly unlikely that Carole and Don would have gone out and bought a dozen more full-size tigers during that 2-year span. As the docuseries suggests, big cats are typically purchased as cubs and adolescents when audiences and families can interact with them, and thus the zoo can make money off of them. After that, the tigers just become big and expensive and not all that profitable.
And when they get to be that age, there are enough ignorant people out there who will then take in that tiger, and a year later, that cat's 200 or 300 pounds.
Now, at this point, you're probably saying to yourself, so what if Carole didn't have enough tigers to do the job? She definitely had plenty of other exotic cats around to devour a body. And that's very true. Carole undoubtedly had enough cats around to consume 170 pounds of meat in a single day. But the issue here isn't the meat, it's the bones.
That's worse. You gotta keep the bones out.
Yeah, he does the lame-o jokes. I get it.
He does. He's good. I like his game theories a lot.
Yeah. But the point is, so far, he's going to get into the whole issue, which is the bones. Okay, and he's going to go into the jaw strength of all these animals and how it would be impossible, even a tiger, to crush the bones. Hi, Ellie. Says Carole
Hi,
Baskin is
everybody.
guilty. That's a lie, Ellie. We're going to
I
prove.
mean, she's guilty of a lot of things, but I don't think it's direct murder.
I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe she meant she's guilty of forgery. That's for sure.
She could have had a
know
hand
is
in
whether
it,
Carole
though.
Yeah. Well, my guess is, and it's probably going to go, is that I think he went missing, and basically she said, "Oh shit," and then she probably forged the documents because she realized she was not going to get the money that she wanted to get. So
Yeah, because he was warning all his family and stuff, about Carole. Like, he was warning people about this crazy. I just think she was a crazy bitch. I just don't think she's capable of murdering.
Yeah.
Carole had the right types of animals available to her to get rid of all the evidence. Because remember, the authorities looked around the sanctuary and found nothing.
These tigers have
Hey,
such an
Georgia.
acidic stomach
Georgia.
that when you feed them a whole turkey, there's no bones that come out. Okay, it's gone.
So the digestion of bone fragments might not be a huge hurdle, but breaking the bones into bite-sized pieces certainly is. A house cat, for example, doesn't have the bite strength to break, say, a human femur into manageable chunks. And while we don't know the species demographics of the 132 exotic cats that Don claimed to own back in 1997, we do know that they had a lot of bobcats and a lot of lynx and probably just one adult tiger. It means that if Carole fed her husband to the cats, which she adamantly denies to this day, she would have had to have killed
that. You guys gotta watch that music video. That's a music video that you see 2 seconds before you see these bug-eyed things. That's a music video that Joe Exotic did, and he found somebody who looked exactly like Carole and I like when I was watching the documentary, if you want to call it that, I was like, that's Carole Baskin. But no, it was really good though. But carry on, go ahead.
All right.
Killed her husband and then put her trust in a bunch of medium-sized cats who were domesticated from infancy by Don, no less, to not leave any bones behind. Even though that's exactly what medium-sized cats do when they consume large prey whose bones are too big for their medium-sized jaws to break. Bobcats have a bite force of approximately 110 pounds per square inch. Lynx have even less bite force than bobcats. Meanwhile, a human femur takes 1,700 psi to snap. So clearly it's going to take a cat much bigger to get rid of every part of that human body. And there's no cat bigger than a tiger whose bite force is a whopping 1,050 psi. Wait, a tiger's bite force isn't enough to snap a human femur? I mean, it's not like I could do it or anything, but I guess I'm just surprised that even a tiger can't manage to do it. Well, it means that if Carole did feed her husband to the tigers and left no trace, she may have had to pre-break some of the bigger bones herself, and wouldn't you know it, there is a theory for that, Carole's meat grinder. There's quite a bit of talk about this in Tiger.
Now they're gonna get into the the meat grinder thing too.
It was too small. Like we saw it. It was way too small for that.
He was divorcing her and she wasn't getting. Well, technically, they were married for what, 6 years or something like that. So Florida, I think 6 years. In Florida, it's called community property, and I think she would have gotten 50% of anything during that time that he made money. Now,
yeah, and she did help him make a lot of, because they were only married 6 years, but they were together a lot longer because Carole was the other woman.
Yeah, so probably, I mean, she probably would not have gotten $4 million. I can probably guarantee you that, but she probably gets a good
comfortable amount.
A comfortable amount. She probably would have made it, like, realistically, this guy hit a lot more money than what was claimed. Like, some people have estimated that, he was worth $20 million because in his early life, he was successful at selling automobile parts and cars and stuff like that. And then he just basically flipped land and sold land in Florida, and he made millions of dollars. He was like a self-made millionaire. So, I mean, and he liked to bury gold. So maybe he would have settled. Maybe he would have been like, hey, you keep this little preservation here.
Yeah.
And, we don't go through expensive divorce court. Who knows?
They had the money to not. I think it was more. I don't know why Carole. She didn't love him. We read her diaries. Like it's open source. You can find her. She just wasn't in love with him anymore, and he was not in love with her. But she kept on fighting to be with him. I don't understand. If you're not in love with somebody, why are you fighting to be with them?
I don't know. I think basically it was. Let me see. P10 has already professed his loyalty to crazy ass woman. That's true. That's true, Georgia Peach.
Don't stick your dick in crazy. I swear to God.
Listen. But anyway, I know. You know, you know what I mean. I mean, like, if you really want to know, I have like a little bit of. I don't think she killed anyone, honestly, and I have a little soft spot because, and I'm going to explain that a little bit. Here's a woman who believed, like, originally what happened was the whole documentary, she thought it was going to be like about how, I mean, I've got to pull up the article, but basically what originally the document was about was she thought, let me just read it. Okay. When the directors of Netflix documentary Tiger King came to us 5 years ago, they said that they wanted to make a big cat version of Blackfish, documentary that exposed abuse at SeaWorld. That would expose the misery caused by rampant breeding of big cat cubs and cub petting, exploitation, and awful life the cats lead to a roadside zoo's backyards if they've survived. And then they just basically turned on her on the 5 year mark. And originally she did breed animals, cats in the beginning, but then she stopped because she realized how bad it was. And she basically, it makes it like a sanctuary. She cares about these cats. She wants to stop this whole like breeding of exotic animals, the abuse of it. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for her. And I also have a soft spot for a person that has been accused of possibly a crime that she didn't really commit. I mean, even though she's definitely forged the documents, I think that's for sure. And she might not be the greatest person in the world, but I just don't think she killed her husband because I don't think she would get away with it. I really don't think she's sophisticated enough to get rid of an entire body while everyone's looking for it and then basically get scot free on the entire time. I just don't. I think probably something else. I think he was actually, you know, I watched another little documentary thing, and I will probably play a little bit of it, where that one of the theories is that he's possibly kidnapped by someone, that he got pissed off. He had a lot of enemies. Remember, he had a lot of enemies, this guy, and he had a lot of friends. So who knows? And he was going to Costa Rica. You know, some people have alleged drugs. Personally, I don't know. I think it had to do with the money he was hiding. You know, it could be that, but yeah. But that's why I'm a little bit Team Carole Baskin. I don't like Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic abuses his animals, and also he would have just killed them all. And he did, like, I mean, maybe he's serving more time than he should in jail, but he did try to hire, you know, allegedly hire a hitman. But who knows? But that's just my opinion. I'm a little biased. That's true.
Are you? Excuse me. Are you biased because she helps cats, like exotic animals?
I mean, that's a little bit like, I'm looking at the facts. If you think about the facts, what physical evidence is there to connect her to murdering her husband? There is none.
There's no physical evidence whatsoever. But I'm just saying, are you biased and you have a soft spot because she's helping exotic animals?
I think that's one of the reasons why I looked into her, why I would believe that she was in it. Because when I saw like how Netflix basically manipulated everyone to make like Joe Exotic look like this really nice guy, and he's like all this stuff, and Carole Baskin.
I don't think Netflix was doing that.
It kind of did. It manipulated people to have that feeling because, you know, you kind of liked, like, when you watched that documentary, you kind of really liked Joe Exotic a little bit in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I the only person that I felt the documentary was we're gonna show you some crazy shit and you walk away taking a side, and I did not. I thought all of them were fucking insane.
You could have, but that's, you know, no offense, but if you didn't watch like most of America loved Joe Exotic.
Oh yeah, but that was the side that also, I'm not gonna get political, but that was also the stupid side too, if you think about it.
But like, there's like a lot of people that liked him. A lot of people thought Carole Baskin murdered her husband, and it was because Netflix basically like lied during it, like showing this giant meat grinder, which we're going to get into in a moment, that she could feed her husband to cats. Didn't disprove that theory at all. They had all the opportunity to easily do what film theory did, but they didn't really disprove that at all. They insinuated by showing imagery of a giant cat, like a tiger.
But season 2 was supposed to do that for Carole, but Carole rightfully so, because Netflix did represent her. I thought Netflix represented everybody in a bad way. That's just me. But in season 2 was supposed to be about Carole and to debunk things and stuff, but Carole refused. That's why all the video clips you saw of Carole were the exact same ones that they already owned from the first documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And a lot of the chat says they didn't like him, but there was this good segment of pop. Like there is a lot of people that want him free. He got really popular, and they liked him, and I think that's the fault of like basically good
Those are also
documentary.
the people that think QAnon is a god. Do you get what I'm
but
saying?
let's not get political, please. Like that.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's not. It's just people like crazy. Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree, but if I have to pick a team, I just can't go Baskin. I don't think you have to pick a team, but you have to look at things like more logic, like
Pick
when
the
it comes.
Tigers.
Well, yeah, the Tigers definitely. I would pick the good point. You pick the Tigers, not them.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that there's no physical evidence. It's all circumstantial. Yeah, definitely she forged her document. It's definitely like a little weird, but that is definitely like raises a brow and the whole stuff like that. But you have to think about it is how the hell is she going to get rid of this body? There's no murder weapon, anything like that. And then you have Netflix kind of supporting this wackadoo theory that she fed her husband to in tigers. So I kind of feel sympathy for that, someone being falsely accused of something. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of messed up. I
really thought, the difference between a documentary and a mockumentary?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I'm trying to, maybe just give me a definition. I might be lost.
Well, a documentary is stuff that's based on facts, reports, and kind of like a story of what's going on. A mockumentary is kind of mocking the whole aspect of a documentary and kind of making fun of things and making fun of the people. Like the people are real, the situation's real, but it's just
you think
so crazy.
So you think this is more like a mockumentary?
Yes, mockumentary.
Thank you.
That's what I personally think. It was something to entertain us, and it aired during the perfect time as well because we were all in the house, we were all going crazy.
Makes sense.
And we were watching like crazy people. You know what I mean?
But anyway, let's play a little bit. Let's just go to the meat grinder.
King, and people in Don's circle are miffed that Carole's meat grinder was never tested for Don's DNA. So did Carole have a meat grinder available to her in 1997? Yes. Was it the meat grinder shown in operation in Tiger King? No. One of Carole's numerous issues with Tiger King is that the producers showed a different and far larger meat grinder on screen than the one that she actually owned back at the time. Carole claims that she had herself a small Butcher Boy meat grinder. Quote, one of those little tabletop hand crank things, presumably similar to this.
We had a meat grinder. If you've ever seen a Butcher Boy meat grinder, it's about that big around.
Well, there are meat grinders out there capable of grinding down large bones from large mammals. Carole says she didn't own one of them, and nobody seems to be refuting that claim with any sort of evidence. So it looks like we'll have to assume the only things on the premises capable of grinding bones were the exotic cats themselves. And as we've established, the animals known to be on the property in 1997 aren't up to the task of making a 170-pound human body disappear. But what about all the animals that aren't known to us? After all, we are talking about a man, Don Lewis, who allegedly did a lot of things off the grid, like burying gold bars, keeping secret girlfriends on the side, buying planes in cash and then flying them around without recording those flights in any log because he didn't have a valid pilot's license. So it's not surprising.
Another thing I also thought of when I heard about him piloting a lot like that. You ever heard of that documentary? It's called Cocaine Cowboys.
I've seen a movie called Cocaine Cowboy.
It might have been a movie, but I think it was like a discussion too. Like
it was based on true events. So yeah, I believe that there's probably a documentary.
So like the whole thing with that is that there was like this whole situation. I think it was in Florida where people would fly down to grab cocaine, and then they would like literally like just drop their like when they're flying back, they would just like literally dump their plane because it was just not. It was more trouble to actually bring the plane back, and then they would grab all the things from it and just leave the plane whatever it was. And that was the whole thing. And this guy was known to drive under radar and all that stuff, and like
And Florida back in the the late 70s to the early 90s was the biggest place for cocaine distributors too.
Yeah.
So he could have had his fingers into the pie as well, which is probably because there was counts of Carole saying that he had early onset dementia, but I can't see cocaine doing that. I can't see cocaine making somebody act that off. Like it's not.
Well, you would
You
act
know.
off if you were paranoid about certain things, like
Oh,
you
if you're
know.
paranoid and you have anxiety, please don't do coke at all. By the way, don't do coke at
Oh,
all.
people are
But
asking. Just to cut you off, people are asking, what the hell is Tony doing in the corner? He's playing Final Fantasy, or
oh,
he's like,
sorry. I wanted to. I was trying to take it off so it showed my picture. I moved everything to the better computer,
listen. I think
and
it's fine. It entertains probably the chat because instead of just looking at a still image, they're seeing a bunch of people in outfits dance
it's
in
a concert.
a
Yeah, there.
concert. So
Yeah,
you're getting two shows tonight. You're not only getting a free concert from
it's a.
Final Fantasy, but you're also finding out how Joneson is wrong about Carole Baskin feeding
Oh, you got it deep for Josen.
her husband to tigers. Hi, Joneson. How you doing, Joneson?
Hey Jones, and yeah, this is on screensaver mode. I'm literally not playing the game, so it's just camming around. I do apologize. I don't know how to turn it off without kicking myself out.
So we just went through Joneson. I like it. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's fine. It's fine. But let me see. So basically, we went through how the Tigers. Hey, Tony. Hi, B-Town. How you doing?
Hey everybody that I missed, Brooke, Ellie.
So basically,
Sleuth.
Sleuth Mom. How you doing, Sleuth Mom? So we went through how it's impossible for these small cats to actually break up these bones. You didn't have the butcher block, like the actual grinder to break the bones. Let's continue.
Amazing that there's no record of the exact animals that Don Lewis had on the property. All we're able to piece together is that a lot of them were bobcats and lynx, and at least one of them was a tiger. But there were 132 exotic cats in all. What if there were other exotic cat breeds on the property? Would any of those breeds possibly have been better suited for disposing human bones? Are there any big cats out there with a bite force of over 1,700 psi? Well, let's take a look and see. And a quick shout out to the FBI agent who's now been assigned to monitor my activity after all these super creepy Google searches that I've been doing.
Can we all relate to that at this point? I think
mean,
everyone can relate to this. Everyone in the chat, everyone were probably on the FBI wanted list at this point with all the search things we've been looking into.
First up, let's look at lions. Seems like it should be the obvious first choice. The lion is the king of the jungle, right? Well, it turns out that the king of the jungle is generally smaller than a tiger and also has itself a smaller jaw. A lion's bite force is only about 650 psi. So while it can take care of some bones in the human body, it's not the one-stop human body disposal shop that we're after. Same thing goes with leopards, whose bite force is only 305 psi. And with those out of the way, we're actually running out of apex predators pretty quickly here, folks. I guess 1,700 psi is too much to ask. Unless, of course, a jaguar can deliver more bite force than a tiger. And why would they? Jaguars are smaller than tigers. They eat less than tigers. And their bite force is over 9,000? Well, no, it's not over 9,000. I just wanted to say that. But the jaguar's bite force is the biggest of the bunch. It's actually at 2,000 psi. Turns out that they have remarkably strong bites. And guess what? They bite with enough force to break through the human femur. So there you have it, folks. The Hillsborough County Sheriff recently announced that he's seeking leads on the case.
All right, so unless the guy had jaguars, a bunch of jaguars on his properties, which, by the way, I would not want to be near any jaguars. They like to rip people's tongues out while they devour them.
Or they pee on them.
Yeah, I mean, so I doubt he had a bunch of jaguars on his property. So basically, we go on that. Now, the other thing that came out was apparently they believe, like there was a document apparently where he's somehow alive in Costa Rica. And this guy who's been following the case a long time, which I think is Ripper Jack Media. So Ripper Jack Media has been following, and he goes through the note that was supposedly read. Now, surprise, surprise, it's not. It's not confirmed that he's alive in Costa Rica. But here, we're going to go through it a little bit. He's going to go through the document. Let me just read the chat. Let me see. Fine, beat him. Let me see. We established again, beat him, loves him. Some Baskin, Carole Baskin. Let me see. Georgia, Aguilar killed her husband, whacked him. Listen, just so we're gonna have to play Joneson's video just so people know what I'm talking about with Joneson with her video. Let me see. Then we'll go through that. I think Johnson might strike me. I'm joking. Let me see. This was Jones's video where she was basically talking about this is why I started this live.
Carole Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carole Baskin.
So what do you think of that, Tony?
I mean,
Jones and
when was Dawn reported missing?
all right, we're gonna look through. But first, we're gonna figure out the.
Because that means, like, if he was reported missing after like 2 days, and Carol's like, I can't, then okay, that's not enough time to dispose of bones.
Tony's on your side. It's true. It sounds like him.
Well, no, no, I don't think Carole has it in her to do. I think she has it in her to be a crazy woman. Yes, obviously, but do I think she can actually physically harm somebody? No. She's more of a mental warrior. She will fuck with you. She will break you more than a punch in the face could.
Okay, so let me see.
But let me keep reading here because the case being paid money by U.S. Customs.
Let me see.
For example, I'm messing it up. I don't know if I can, but the Mrs. is darker than the rest of the other document. And then right below.
We're going to have to start from the beginning so people have context. Okay, here.
Let me turn this off real quick. On the right, if you look at the very top on the right, it says smoking, or part of the word smoking. This is a screenshot from the docutainment. I'm in the documentary, Tiger King 2. On the left is the source document where that screenshot actually came from. And I'm going to show you how you can figure that out. Let me zoom in a little bit on, let's see, which one do I want to, I think I'll zoom in on this one. All right, I want you to look over on the right, and then I'm going to read this document to you in case you can't read it, but I want you to look over on the far right. I'll put this up at the very top. That word at the very top right corner where it says Mrs. And let me show you where that's at over on this document. Because I want you to know for sure the source document that you're looking at right now on the left of the screen is the actual source document. Okay, we're looking at the 5th line down. I'll put it at the very top. It says report with Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in Tampa. If you look over on the right, it says Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in Tampa. And then after Tampa, you see where it says Mrs.? You see that? Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can zoom in without messing it up. I don't know if I can, but the Mrs. is darker than the rest of the other document. And then right below that, it says a van owned by Don Lewis. And then on the right, it says was. And the was is in darker print as well. And then you see no and had. And all of those are darker because those have been added so that when you saw the document in the show, it looked like a complete and whole document. But it's not, because that right side was clipped off. And the reason it was clipped off, the document itself is cropped on the sides. The reason it was cropped is because it has identifying markers on the sides that cannot be shown. That's why this source document that I'm showing you right now, the sides are clipped off. And that's going to be important here in a little bit because the date of this document is on here as well. Now I have the uncropped versions of the documents. And I'm going to show you 2 pages. That's all that was shown in the show. But the other pages I'm not gonna put out there. I don't even want to put these out there, but I'm going to because I want to show you guys that this stuff is not true. Let me read this to you.
Okay, he's got to read it now.
Let me go down a little bit. So
I know it's taken a while, but he's going to
explain. It does say Department of Homeland Security up there. Homeland Security took over a bunch of different offices that the U.S. government had. For example, U.S. Customs now falls under Homeland Security. U.S. Customs.
We answered this earlier. Tony is on standby mode, and that's basically what they do in Final Fantasy when they're partying. So there's a lot of partying going on, and there's a concert going on in Final Fantasy. So that's what's happening, Georgia Peach. Yes, that is a dancing goat, it looks like. Yes, there's dancing goats. So I mean, like, at least you get a little side entertainment while he's reading legal documents. So I mean, how many
Customs is who would do an investigation into animal smuggling. In 1997, U.S. Customs was doing an investigation into Don Lewis into wildlife smuggling. So let me read this document. This investigation has revealed no evidence of wildlife smuggling on the part of Jack Lewis. If you guys don't know who Jack Lewis is, that's Don Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis owns property in Costa Rica and has traveled there regularly. I'm going to keep reading. In the latter part of August 1997, Lewis's wife Carole filed a missing persons report with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in Tampa. Lewis stated that her husband had disappeared. A van owned by Don Lewis was located at Pilot Country Estate in Pasco County, Florida. Detectives found no sign or no evidence of foul play. Hillsborough Sheriff's Office detectives learned that Lewis recently purchased a $1.5 million life insurance policy. Now, pay very close attention to what I'm about to read here. This will, without a doubt, tell you that this is a document from 1997. And the date is October 1997. Carole wishes it came from 2002 or after. She needs it to come from then. But right here, you're going to see that's not the case. Working in conjunction with Special Agent in Charge / New Orleans and Special Agent, and they have his name redacted, has learned that Don Lewis is currently alive and well in Costa Rica. Now, this is what people are reporting on. This statement in this document, because Carole has said, it says he was found alive and well in Costa Rica. Now, I'll keep going. Upon receiving this information, Special Agent, name redacted, contacted Hillsborough Sheriff's Office Detective George Fernandez and advised him of Lewis's whereabouts. Now, this is very important. I will tell you, in season 1 of Tiger King, they interviewed.
Hey there, what's up? Let me see. Hi, Dilly. I want to teleport there. Yeah, see, people want to live where you live, where Final Fantasy lives, Tony.
It's a very relaxing game, and it's free to play. You can play the first expansion for free. You can play it online. You can play it on your PS, PlayStation 3 to 5, and on PC. Start a free trial.
Now you know what Tony does for his free time, where he's got time to relax. Plays Final Fantasy and Elden Ring.
It is so beautiful. It's just beautiful.
But anywho, it basically, like, this is the whole reason why everyone was like in this whole thing, like, oh, he's alive, and it's based on this document that's supposedly resurfaced, but this document's from 1997, basically. So, and he's going to explain and read it.
People from the sheriff's office, and those people said they went to Costa Rica to do an investigation. But what they did not say, and what they could not say, is that when they went to Costa Rica, they talked to an informant that had reported Don Lewis being seen alive and well. They actually talked to the informant, and the informant recanted his statement and told them that he was being paid money by U.S. Customs every time he gave them information. Therefore, he gave them information saying that he saw Don Lewis because he was being paid thousands of dollars for information. So he told him this, and he knew that if they came back to him and said Don Lewis is not alive, he could say, well, that guy sure looked like him. I thought it was him. I guess I was wrong. This is what he told the detectives. But
what you want to say, man?
They want you to read it.
They want me to read it?
Yeah, can you read? They said that they would. Georgia says we'd rather hear you read it. Beat him.
Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, let me see. All right, let me read the Ripper Jack Media one because there's no way I'm going to read the actual one. Okay, so Ripper Jack Media says this investigation has revealed no evidence of wildlife smuggling on it, and then it's cut out. On the part of Jack Lewis. Lewis owns property in Costa Rica and has traveled regularly. The latter part of August 1997, Lewis's wife, Carole, filed a missing persons report with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in Tampa. Lewis stated that her husband had disappeared. A van owned by Don Lewis, located at Pilot Country. It's hard to read because he writes Ripper Jack Media right in the middle of it, so it's kind of hard to read that.
Yeah.
In Pasito County, Florida, detective found residents of foul. Detective found, and then says residents of foul play.
Is this public records?
Yeah, this is public. Let me see. But
is this public records? Why did you put a stupid watermark on it?
I don't know why he did it. He probably didn't want no one to steal it. But like, bro, this is your video. No one's gonna see your video.
Public.
So detective learned that Lewis recently purchased 1.5. So basically, his crux is that this is an old document. This doesn't prove that he's actually in Costa Rica alive. It's just basically like she was just showing this document. And somehow people just think like, like the Homeland Security thinks he's, people think because Homeland Security has it, that it confirms that he's alive. He's not in it's not confirmed that he's alive in Costa Rica based on this document. So that's basically what he's going at when he's explaining this. Ordering volume 5 of Hooked on Phonics for Team B Tim right now. Unbelievable, Georgian. That man is not alive. I would think that he would die from old age by now, to be honest with you, because he was pretty old. I mean, this has been a while. So he's dead in the Everglades then. Listen, now we're going to go into the buried body theory, okay? I got another video. This is actually a good video. It's called From Cold Case Detectives. Actually, it's a good channel. Covers a lot of cold cases and discusses it, and it was actually discussed this case. Did pretty well. I mean, I'm not going to play the whole thing, obviously, but I just want to play this part where it goes through like certain areas of it. So.
And leave app.
All right, so here is cold case. Let me just copy that and drop it in the chat. And it goes through the whole well, tossing the body in the well theory. Let me see. Here's the video. I think he was off by the cartel. I think he was kidnapped too. I don't know if it was the cartel though, but it's a possibility. I think Carole Baskin did not kill him, though. I really don't. Let me go to the well. Okay, so here's him.
Outlandish claims only picked up steam when notorious big cat collector and nemesis of Carole Baskin, Joe Exotic, created an obscene music video flaunting the tiger feeding hypothesis. But that wasn't his only crazy claim. Joe Exotic became obsessed with another theory, that while Carole was still responsible for her husband's disappearance, she actually hid his body under the ground at Big Cat Rescue, digging up the dirt where her septic tank rested and putting Don's body in that, covering it up and pretending as if nothing had happened. Joe made many public pleas for investigators to excavate the earth around the property and check the septic tank. And this idea spread around his own exotic zoo, where employees began believing that same conclusion. However, the documentaries covering Joe and his theories also fail to share the information that debunks his theory as well. The septic tank in question, in a similar vein to the meat grinder, was not installed on the Big Cat Rescue Sanctuary until multiple years after Don went missing. If Don was buried somewhere on the property, it was nowhere near the septic tank. In addition, it makes little sense for Carole to bury Don on her own property, where future digs and construction work will almost assuredly take place, and risk discovery. Now, all this being said, to completely remove Carole Baskin as a suspect would be premature. While she has consistently denied any involvement, there are pieces to her past that might suggest a motive, or at least further consideration. The major piece of the case that might preclude motivation for Carole is Don's promiscuity and overall stance on the wildlife projects he and Carole had created. It is well known that Don saw the tigers and various big cats as nothing more than a business.
Yeah, and that was a big point of contention in their arguments, right, Tony?
Say that again. Sorry.
That was a big point of contention. He's probably distracted by the dancing goat.
Oh no, I got a text. I'm sorry, I got a text message from my sister.
He's like, what? Is that
Yeah.
goat's? That goat's jamming it up. But anyway,
Yeah, no, sorry, my sister text messaged me. I apologize.
but that was a big point of contention between Carole Baskin and her husband because he saw it as a business and she saw it as, as a mission, basically, to help these cats.
Yeah, because she was making it as a
I follow, Graham.
rescue.
Yeah.
And he was seeing it as just an investment and not so much as a rescue.
Oh, it's Grandma sure asked if everything's okay.
Yeah, no, everything's fine. No, everything's fine. It's just my sister got me. My sister lives down south, and she got me cherry wine, which is it's a soda. It's like a cherry soda, but they don't sell it up here in Boston. So she got me a couple cases of it, and she's like, "When can I bring it to you?" Because she surprised us all. She came up to spend some time with the family.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
I know
surprise.
It's like surprise. Extra. Well, I'll play this part. I think this one goes into the whole money situation. All right, so it's the money situation.
And never return. Cat operation and the hassle of dealing with such a
Wait, real
consuming
quick,
business.
pause it. How much on paper, not speculation, but how much on paper did what was his net worth?
I think it was $5 million, and it's speculated that he had secretly packed away $15 million, and I think it gets into a little bit like that. So,
okay,
so,
go
because
ahead.
What was a really weird thing was during a recent interview, Carole Baskin says she remember this is a self-made millionaire that made his money with real estate and selling automobile parts and all that shit.
Yeah.
So she highlights how she wanted to see if he prove that he can make money in Costa Rica with his deals. So he goes out there and with their various investments, they're only able to recover out of $1 million, $80,000 or $90,000 or something like that from there. And I'm like, wait a minute. So this guy suddenly loses a bunch of money like that, just immediately.
Where can you hide 15 million? That's a lot. That's a lot of bills.
Gold.
You think he
I mean, gold. I mean, or so you got to realize maybe he just basically, hit it. He just slowly went there and just started building over years.
Yeah, it's not like he had a secret bank account because they
there's
would have
a lot of husbands that because this was his second marriage, right? So basically, there's a lot of husbands that secretly hide their money in other things, a house that the wife doesn't know, real estate. Money hidden around just because they don't want that wife to get the money. So it wouldn't be surprised me that this guy would hide a bunch of money just in case of a divorce.
He was a womanizer, mind y'all, because he was cheating on his wife a lot longer than what you think. Carole was just the ending of that marriage because Carole was also helping him for years make money while he was still married to, was her name Gladys? I think her name is Gladys.
Yeah.
And then they decided to get divorced, but he was still a womanizer. That's the thing too. So,
Cayman Islands. Yeah. Dilly, we went through that. Basically, that's an impossibility that we need to rebuttal beats him is biased about Carole. Yeah. I mean, listen, that's why I'm showing all the evidence. I did refute the whole thing. He's in Costa Rica based on those documents. So I'm not completely just my facts are not there, but basically
Georgia, you can hide it at my house. I'll hide money at your house.
Yeah, I'm sure George is volunteering everyone to hide money in their house. Costa Rica bank account living in La Vida Loca with the sweet harem of chicas feeding him grapes. Hey, maybe.
He could be. I would like to think that he's alive. I would like to think that.
And him laughing at this whole situation, ha 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 ha.
But he loved his daughters. He did love his. I really don't think he would have, he has to have known what's going on, especially with the documentaries and stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? And if he saw his daughters being treated, they're literally being bullied by Carole.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of contention between them because, there's been multiple times police officers have come up to her and said, take this polygraph, we're going to search your property again. And the problem with that is that I actually agree with her, Carole Baskin's, not taking a polygraph. Because the moment you take a polygraph, you fail it, you're guilty. That's what people think. you pass it, people think you just beat the test. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Yeah.
I mean, which I get.
I mean, but there is one person. We're going to get into the one person that might break this case. The one person that might break this case. And it's a wild card, guys. It's a wild card. So stay tuned. We're still going with the facts, but there is a wild card that might solve this mystery.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, Bushes, exactly. And the thing is too, before he went missing, he talked to his daughters and his wife and warned them about Carole. And they already were aware of I think it was 2, but it might have been 3 restraining orders that got denied, mind you, because it's freedom of speech to threaten somebody's life.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's a little biased because if a guy did that, I'm sure they would probably throw the order protection. But if a woman does it, you know.
I mean, yeah. No, yeah, but again, you know, no offense to anybody in Florida. I mean, it's a little you know. I mean, we just found Santos in drag. I'm just saying.
Listen, I mean, I'm glad he found himself. But anyway, that was making a joke.
You were making a big joke. I'm just telling. Did y'all see the picture of Santos in drag?
Yeah. But
I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying. No, good for him. Good for him. The picture is 15 years old, from Brazil. He is from Brazil. But nobody gets that snatched just for fun. We've seen guys dress up as women just for fun for Halloween and stuff. They don't look as good as Santos in a dress.
I'm just glad for him. I'm very glad. But let's continue.
You don't even know what's going on. Why? I don't even know. He's getting a backlash from it, and I'm supporting him. So you have no idea what's going on.
Let me see.
Perhaps his affairs with women were catching up with him and he wanted to start over. Or perhaps he was truly fearful of Carole and set up his estate so she would profit over his disappearance while he got to start over on the far side of the world. These theorists believe Don faked a kidnapping, fully intending to fly out of Miami that August morning and never return. He could have put his van in a different airport parking lot to throw police off his trail, hopped on another flight, and vanished in the blink of an eye. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Don had money outside of his known estate or was saving up for this exact scenario. Don was full of secrets and constantly plotting his next move, preparing for the future better than most. In fact, Don's personal handyman, Kenny Farr, told reporters he knew Don would bury money and gold bars around his various properties and was probably worth around $20 million. 15 million more than his lawyers thought. Remember that Kenny was the person Don told, quote, "If I can pull this off, it will be the slickest thing I've ever done in my life." Could it have been a great escape plan? Many think it to be possible, but not Kenny. He doesn't understand why Don would leave a van at an airport at all, even if it wasn't the right one. It would be too big a clue that Don was running away and make it much harder to become invisible. Both Don's lawyer, Joseph Fritz, and lead investigator of Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, John Marcicano, agree, saying Don was more likely to have been killed. The other argument, that Don left on his own will but perished unexpectedly, is also heavily gossiped. Some followers of the case, including Carole Baskin herself, think that Don may have got into one of his planes to fly to Costa Rica, but crashed somewhere in the ocean. There is, however, a lot of evidence to suggest this is false. Detective Marcicano points to the lack of flight records going to Costa Rica that day, and the lack of crash reports in the area for the same timeline. Theorists then report that Don was a known illegal flyer, having lost his pilot's license but choosing to fly anyway, operating his planes low and under radar detection. Yet again, Detective Marcicano refutes these claims, saying every plane Don owned was far too small to make the trip to Costa Rica in one go. If Don did get in a plane and attempt to travel south, it would have been desperate and unsafe, possibly hinting at a deteriorating state of mind.
Now, this goes into the whole dementia thing, but I don't think that was the case with him. Because he actually refutes that theory right here with the whole dementia thing. Because I don't think he had dementia. But the interesting thing goes into his theory. And this guy's theory, let me see. This part.
To have the money to...
What's up?
How old was he?
How old was Don?
He was in his 60s, wasn't he? late 50s, early 60s, or something like that.
Let me see, just make sure. 59.
He's 59, so
Yeah, that's why I think he's probably, even if he didn't get killed, he probably is dead from old age at this point. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, like, that's quite a while. That's quite a
Yeah.
while. No, I don't think we will, sadly. We will probably never know what really happened. Probably not, honestly. And it's unfortunate because, you know, there is real people that are suffering. His daughters are suffering, and they don't know. They're turning to psychics.
They're getting
because
desperate.
they're getting really, really desperate. And that's unfortunate. And it's like there's a lot of issues with that, you know, because obviously Netflix made a lot of money making a joke about it, but in the truth of the matter is they didn't really care about him being missing. He was just a side story to them, and you know, it's not the case for this family at all. You know, I mean, in my opinion, I think Carole Baskin's probably being falsely accused of murder, and I think the you know, this guy's probably dead. I think he got into something that he probably should not have gotten into, and it resulted in him getting his life taken. But that's just a speculation, in my opinion. You know, speculation, opinions, that type of deal.
Hire someone to get rid of Don or to do it themselves without ever leaving so much as a hair follicle. In the case of a multi-millionaire like Don was, removing them from the face of the earth is going to take a pretty penny. So, how did they do it? A lot is left to be desired in the investigation in terms of clues and concrete timelines. But if the killer was an associate to Don, they probably had secretly arranged a meeting early that August 18th morning with him. He was already out to make a delivery and head to Miami for a flight, so the arrangement was probably just another stop. It was here they'd likely kidnapped him, drove his van to the airport as a fake-out, and disposed of him elsewhere. There's also the idea that Don could be meeting someone with his own planes, and when they took off, he was pushed out over the ocean by his murderer, a theory.
Yeah, which I think is pretty tough to do, to open up a plane door while in flight and throw someone out there in the middle of the ocean. So I doubt this theory of disposal of the body.
Brought up by his lawyer. Whatever the method was, it ended with a clean getaway. Could it have been Carole Baskin? It is entirely possible. In addition to the theories mentioned previously, Carole's own family had a disdain for Don. And speaking of her family, she also had a brother as a deputy in the sheriff's office, who was one of the last people to be around Don right before he went missing. Plenty of people have come forward to quickly strike down theories of collusion in law enforcement or any involvement from Carole's brother, citing their weak relationship to begin with. Both Carole and Anne McQueen, the assistant who probably knew Don Lewis better than he knew himself, were intensely vetted by detectives, cleared of any wrongdoing, and never labeled as prime suspects. It doesn't rule them out completely, but it does give credence to the fact there is simply no lead at the forefront of the investigation. It's important to remember that at the center of the entire case is a man whose fate is unknown, the humanity and tragedy of which is sometimes obscured by the glorification of conspiracy theories and internet jokes. There are loved ones and friends of Don Lewis who are desperate for answers and longing to know what happened to him, but instead of receiving real help, they have to wake up every day to see his face and name abused by people looking to profit off his mystery and laughing at the idea that he was fed to tigers. It is so important to remember that the people in these cases were people, real people who deserve respect and justice. And the abuse of their stories to make shocking headlines and quick money is insidious. Was Don Lewis a perfect man? No, by no stretch of the imagination. He, like all of us, had his issues and shortcomings. But at the end of the day, Don Lewis was a real person with a beating heart and deserved to live out the rest of his days, no matter how badly someone didn't like him or the businesses he involved himself with. Because of the tone and reception of certain documentaries made since Don disappeared, it is hard to get people to focus on finding answers rather than supporting the nonsense. So it is up to all of us to work to progress above the overly dramatized conspiracy.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of an important part that he left off. Okay, so he wasn't fed to tigers. Yep, we disproved that he was fed to tigers, and probably so. What's next? Well, there is a great detective, probably the greatest media person around. Did you know about this? That he's investigating this situation? The
I don't
greatest
know
media.
who he. I don't know who he. Tell me who he is.
We will see.
Do you know who he is? Because it sounds like you don't know who he is.
I know who he is. We're gonna show him. We're gonna show him. He's gonna investigate this whole situation.
Do I know him?
Oh, you know him.
Oh my god, is it fucking Dolly?
No.
Okay.
It's better than Dolly.
Better than Dolly?
Better than Dolly. He is the true media outlet. He is the true media
Is it Justin? Because he's already fucked up.
No. It's our good Jonathan Lee Richards.
AKA JLR. I am in front of the front entrance to Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. Big Cat Rescue, which is owned by Carole Baskin. Carole Baskin. She owns a area here that takes care of animals, a wildlife sanctuary
Is this new?
type place.
A couple of days old, like 2 to 3 days old.
So he really thinks that this is a thing, right?
Yeah, he went to the site. He's actually standing outside the place. He walked around the whole property, like sneaking our pictures in.
That's so sad. That's so sad. At this point, Don has passed away. He's gone. He's either he passed away or he's living his life. Leave Carole alone, dude. Like, you're not gonna solve anything. The best detectives, the best police officers were on this case, and what, you think you're better than them?
Let's see his investigation. What does he tell? People have complimented him, said this was a great video, by the way. I read such comments as, great job, Jonathan. I'm in Illinois, and I think it's strange that I've only heard bits and pieces of this story. Thank you for bringing attention to it. We don't expect you to put yourself in harm's way, whether in the dark alley with creepy-looking suspicious guys in a hurricane, in the midst of secretive city with a murderer in large, and other times like now in the presence of big cats. Whatever else hiding in the bushes. Then adding lightning to the mix. All the greenery and gates warning roads that leads to questionable spots in the fences and small buildings. Makes me think of Jurassic Park. Geez, for the sake of your safety. I don't know if this person's like dissing and our sanity and prevention of severe anxiety attacks. Please lasso that temptation to be risky. LOL, I'm quite serious. I think she's trolled. That's like a troll.
That's a fucking.
That is a troll.
See, normally when I see videos like this, or if I see anything and people responding to it, I'm kind of like, don't feed the trolls.
Yeah.
Like, do not feed them. Like, don't
let's watch a little.
As you can see right here,
he's got to do the props.
Yeah, signs posted in front of her property, in front of her wildlife sanctuary. Private property, no trespassing. Area under surveillance, license plates.
Bitch,
recorded.
we can read. Yeah, he does this all the time. You do realize he does. Like, what the funniest thing is, like, this guy will literally go in front of like if he talks about trash cans, he will sit on a prop with the front of a trash can. Or if he's like talking about like animal hair, he will pull out his cat and start petting the cat. Or if he's talking about pizza, he's gonna like start eating a pizza. He does this all the time. So he actually went here just for the prop.
Deliveries only. Push ring button at gate access. Do not leave pack 19th. 1990.
Talk about trying to stretch a video past 17 minutes. Fucking Jesus Christ.
I was about to say, I think he just does it to stretch the video because the longer your video is, he's monetized, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, longer your video is, more ad revenue you get, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, okay, let's see.
7. What happened to Don Lewis? It is still a mystery. It is still a mystery.
Yes, it's a mystery.
A lot of controversy.
It's really not
surrounding Carole Baskin. With her and her husband, first husband, gone missing, and then the drama with her and Joey Exotic. Joey Exotic, the Tiger King. The Tiger King was beefing
I've never
with
heard
Carole
anybody call him Joey before.
Yeah, I feel like this is the great information he's giving. He's literally giving any. I could give you her article and read this. It's controversy. She's controversy.
But this is so random.
Yeah,
Like it's like a random thing to be like, oh, let's go fuck with Carol. Like that's random. Like who does that? I mean,
oh my god! But he's
I mean,
gonna figure out.
honestly, I'm gonna ask you all right now. Like honestly, does anybody care?
Okay, so we're gonna skip a little bit because he keeps on repeating himself consistently and pointing to signs. So now he's gonna try to sneak into the like outside of the property and start pointing and walking in the rain.
Oh, good, fuck, God.
Howard Baskin currently runs.
Those aren't
Gonna show
Gucci
you.
glasses, no.
Her property is all there. This is a bike trail that runs parallel to her property. Her property is right there.
Her property is right there, guys.
This side
You
here
can go on Google Maps for
is
free.
the Veterans Expressway
This is the Veterans Expressway, guys.
in Tampa,
In Tampa.
going south towards Tampa.
The thunder is coming.
What happened to Carole Baskin's husband?
There's security there. I hope he's careful. Like I
Don.
don't like him, but I don't want him to get hurt.
What happened?
What happened to Don? Look, a fence. He's gonna point out the fence.
Fencing
I noticed fencing.
on her property.
Yeah,
Fencing.
because of people like you, she needed to up her security. Joe did try to kill her. I mean,
It is thundering out.
It is thundering out, guys. It's thundering out, guys. This is the great investigator, the media. Let the tigers free. Let the tigers.
see, I don't watch this guy, so I don't know his nature. I'm just like this is it's random, right?
Yeah, he does anything that's actually like, can get views basically. So he literally drove out to this property and is now just like repeating himself, showing a picture while pointing at a gate, acting like it's suspicious that there's a gate for, a lion sanctuary.
Why
on
now?
Tiger. Because she was in the media like a couple of days ago, like the possibility that her husband was in Costa Rica. And basically he follows like the trends on Google and does any cases that are trending on Google, basically.
But that article came out after the release of
No. It just
Tiger King 2.
it recently came out again. People are thinking he's alive
Oh.
recently. So
Yeah, so it's old news and he's going on. He didn't do his research.
well, you hear any research?
I mean, he knows the property well, which is scary because she lives there. That's creepy.
Okay, I see cages.
I see cages, guys.
I see some cages right over there.
So you see the cages.
Let's keep going down. That looks like
Because
a.
she's an animal rescue,
house.
dude. Do you want them to just roam freely?
See what else we find down here. According to Google Maps, there's like a big lake down here on her property.
Follow the grain in your own wood. Hey, Grain. Isn't
Okay.
he? I think he is because I think the whole thing with Carole Baskin, the rescue, I think the rescue's only open in the summertime, a couple days a week for the public. They have to pay to go in. But it's not open 24/7. They do have people who work freely with the animals and stuff, but it's usually locked down except the employee security, and obviously she lives there.
Yeah. But yeah, the greatest detective's on the case. He's continuously walks down.
I don't like people who put themselves in danger.
Zip lines.
Zip lines.
Lewis, there is a $100,000 reward. Big Cat Sanctuary. Contact Tampa Police or your local police department and give them the credible information. Maybe.
What
families get some
information?
Answers.
Yeah, he didn't tell us anything about the case. He basically rambled and keeps on repeating himself and walking like the bike path. And
I'm so confused.
yeah, and apparently 1,900 people think watch this video. I guess we're one of them. Only way this case will be solved is if someone involved comes forth and confess or give witness testimony. FYI, be careful. Carole has a lot of money and will sue anyone that causes friction in her life. We can only hope, sir. We can only hope, she sues Jonathan Lee Richards. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Carole Baskin, well, she fed him to her tiger and said he was flying on his plane to Mexico. It wasn't Mexico. Be careful or you may end up a JLR burger. Thanks for posting. So, I mean, like, that was the amazing detective, the greatest detective of all time. Have you learned anything from that video, Tony?
I just learned not to watch his content. Like, I don't know the guy. From what I know of him, he's not somebody I would want to, you know.
Yeah, he's just.
I would not want to get in the car with him.
So someone says throw a goat at him.
Throw a goat at him. Leave the goats alone.
Throw like JLR is pointing now. He's pointing at the goats now.
Wait, rewind it to when he was talking about the signs.
Sure, the signs. Which ones? He was talking about all the signs.
No, just when he's reading the signs, like we don't know how.
All right, I gotta go there.
Okay, so it says private
Area
property.
under-
Pause it. It says private property, no trespassing. And what does he do?
Well, he didn't trespass technically. He walked the bike path and he was just filming outside of the
That's
bike
part
path.
of their property.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's why the sign's there.
Well, this was the
read
front
sign.
gate. Yeah, because what happened? This is like I think the front gate, but could be right. Could be right.
It says deliveries only. Push ring button to the gate. So he's trespassing. These people don't know when to just, you know, they want the law to be upheld, but they can't even do it for themselves. They're the problem.
Mm-hmm. Now let me see. These approaching hurricanes.
Is it a thing to do cases and go to the case location and just
Yes.
think that's a thing?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was thinking about doing the next show on what happened in California, sadly. You know, the shooting, you know, respect to the family there. And I just don't want people to go there. Does that make sense?
Well, probably people are going there because they're horrible individuals.
So sad. So sad.
Let me see. So what do you? Let's get into a little discussion. What do you think?
Yeah, see, that's the thing, Grain. He reads it, but proceeds to break the law. Like, I don't get it. He did time in prison.
Yeah, he stole like I think 2,000 people's identities and stole about $10 million in wire fraud.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Why would he get himself in more trouble?
Well, technically, this is not more trouble. And then he did 2,600 complaints claiming such things as OJ is cloning himself and trying to steal all the OJ in the world and trying to get him in jail, to Kim Kardashian stole his virginity.
So he needs help. This is what you're telling me. I honestly think now his whole channel is a cry for help.
Yeah, well, people take him seriously. They think he's a great media source.
Which is good, you know, like if you know, that's fine. But the thing is, though, there comes a time when you watch somebody and you support them, you put your all into them, but then later down the line, you know, you start noticing things. Don't stop noticing those things just because you like the person. The bestest of friends that I ever have, like Reaper I keep close and Tim I keep close, they're the ones who can also call me on my shit.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying. Man.
So don't be that person. That's why I expect y'all to ever, you know, if I ever fuck up or do anything, call me on my shit.
Yeah, I will. So that the whole reason why they think he's alive is because on Monday, in the interview, Carole Baskin, I'm sure she came Lewis was alive. living his best life in Costa Rica, and people just think like, that's pretty much it. But he's not a lot. He's not in Costa Rica. I think he's dead. Honestly, I think someone kidnapped him. I think he got involved in some sort of drugs or some sort of smuggling. I don't know, but I don't think Carole Baskin has the ability to actually plan, execute a crime where no DNA, nothing is left behind, and the guy literally disappears. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that's possible. I think most likely the thing is that Don got involved with things he shouldn't have gotten involved, and they took care of him. And it might have been for his money. It might have been for what he was doing. Who knows? But I mean, I kind of hope he lives in Costa Rica living his best life, because I don't want a guy to be murdered. But
yeah, we don't want anybody to be hurt,
But that's what I think. I think though, when it comes to Tiger King kind of made it look like Carole Baskin was involved in the this killing and the Tiger things. And it's kind of fucked up that basically they've made a mockery of it, and they try to make.
That's why it's a mockumentary.
Yeah, it's a mockumentary for sure.
But no, I think their aim wasn't directly towards Carole. I think it was basically, we're gonna find the craziest shit, and we're gonna have to, because people like a train wreck. No, not one story in both those seasons, not one character in that show
97
is not a train wreck.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. But anyway, you want to ask people, because we have a little time. You want to drop the link and just ask people if they want to jump up?
Yeah, does anybody want to jump in?
Yeah.
Don't show your doodle.
Yeah, well, if you show your doodle, then Tony's going to keep your doodle. So,
I will take a screenshot and I will pass it around.
Give your opinions on whether you think Carole Baskin is the killer or not the killer. You can jump up and say it, but if you don't, you don't. Tony is dancing with cat people apparently and small rabbits.
I'm not. I don't even know what my character is doing. Oh, I'm watching that's what I'm doing. I'm just
the goat lady dancing.
I am a cat person though. It's the new race that they have in the game.
Of course, you're a cat person.
I mean, it looked cool. But
you look like a cat that took roids or something, like a steroid.
All the characters. I do have a Fantasia, which you get free right after completing the first, which can change your character. But I'm usually a dragon person, like that guy is. He's a dragon person. And that's my bulldog.
That is your bulldog. But yeah, I mean, I just don't like the whole documentary with the whole Netflix thing. It's just like, I just didn't like it, what they did to Carole Baskin.
It was a train wreck.
Yeah.
And but people ate it up. And obviously when you watch something like that shows you, team A and team B. And you're gonna pick a side. I walked away without it. I didn't pick a side. I just went, wow, that's It was entertainment. Let's not lie. It was entertainment, and I didn't pick nobody's side because I think they're all fucked up and need help. Yeah,
I just think it's just what's a train wreck, man? A major train wreck. But anywho, we see.
I mean, they actually put in the documentary. Was it the first season or the second season? One of his husbands, he was a polygamist, and one of his husbands accidentally shot himself, and they literally showed the foot. They showed a camera angle of a reaction of the guy that was there, but I mean, why would you go that far in a this isn't Faces of Death. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the whole reason society's edged up now. All the brain cells killed by Tiger King. Yeah, I was bored during the pandemic. I watched. I think everyone watched it.
That's why it succeeded. I think
the problem with your idea of In the Bushes is that you'd have to have money, and in all intents and purposes, Dawn had control of most of the money.
Yeah, that was the issue.
Like, it wasn't her money. She was broke as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she could have hired someone, but then she would have to pay them. So, no one's going to do fucking a hit on credit.
Well, I don't know. Joe Exotic was going when the whole issue, when he hired the hitman, Joe Exotic was losing his park. He was in debt. He was literally borrowing money off of his parents, and he still had enough to get a hitman.
Yeah, $3,000. That's why he's in jail.
Yeah, so I think Carole could have. I mean,
Well, hopefully she definitely paid more than $3,000. Let's just
and this
say.
is what 1997 he went missing.
Yeah.
So it would probably be cheaper.
$3,000. Yeah, but I'm just saying it was just like probably impossible for her to get that type of money. Like the money that she would probably have to pay like $20,000-$30,000, and the chances are like a guy who does a hit like that might blackmail you later down the line. You know, all it takes is like, hey, I know about your money, your inheritance. You better pay up.
Now unless he's getting a salary.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. I mean, there's hitmen out. I mean, come on. We all know about the mafia. They shut the fuck up. Do you get what I'm saying?
The mafia is not like this situation. The mafia is like you have to be worried about like an organization that's going to try to kill you, not Carole Baskin. I don't think anyone's like a hitman who's killed someone's going to be worried about Carole Baskin going to kill them.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. I mean like people know when to shut up, especially if she's saying giving him a monthly, you know, you know what I mean? Like maybe he's set for life now.
Yeah, probably.
Or she, I don't know. It could have been a woman. He was a womanizer. I guess the best way to, you know what I mean?
Hi, Burden. Carole could have easily scraped together to off Don.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, Ellie. We'll see about that. But anyway,
it's not like she didn't have money. It's just we don't know how much. Maybe she got really bad. I don't know. I mean, there's so many. That's the thing. It's a mystery, and it's gonna stay a mystery. Nobody's gonna fucking solve this.
Well, Jonathan Lee Richards will solve this crime.
Yeah, my Zippo.
Jonathan Lee Richards is on the case, guys. Don't worry, he'll figure this crime out.
Oh my god. Has there been any YouTubers that actually solved the crime?
I think like Gray Hughes has like solved like 2 cold cases.
Well, cold cases I can respect because it's a cold case. Nobody's really looking into it. It's kind of like not even closed. It's just cold. But like I'm talking about a missing, like you know how like they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Like Dolly's never going to solve the case. Blowhorn Betty's never going to solve the case.
Well, maybe you're wrong. Maybe Bullhorn Betty solves the case one day, and then she'll get all the legitimacy that she ever wanted. But anywho.
Oh God, please don't let that.
Hi, Tony and Tim. I hope you both are having a good evening. We are having a great evening.
Hey.
We talked about how it was impossible for the tigers in the area to grind up the bones.
That's right. AWP did. That's right. I remember.
Well, they didn't solve they basically found a missing person. Basically, but yeah, they did solve. They're kind of you're right.
That case is closed now, though, right?
I'm a little iffy on the details. I think one county hasn't closed the case. One county has, and it's like it was ruled in the coroner's report an accident and stuff like that. But
yeah,
there's people still holding out that it's like someone's going to investigate and see if there's any sort of wrongdoing with it. But I'm like, I think it's an accident, but there's still people holding out thinking like there's something out there. But it's no here, no there.
There's always going to be that question of doubt, though. Any case, not just Kylie's, any case.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah, they found about it. They found Kylie.
Sadly, yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
People, I don't know what's going on in this world, but people just become horrible.
Bert, I'm interested in your opinion. What do you think? What do you think happened to Carole Baskin's husband? I'm wondering what Burden thinks. If Burden says, we'll see what she thinks. Actually, I'm not gonna make a statement. We know what Ellie thinks. Ellie thinks it's a hitman, especially with that dog. Dog avatar definitely makes it look like a lot of dog avatars basically on YouTube. I noticed. Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Burden thinks he's in the Everglades. Hey, don't give her the answer, Jonesin. Don't give her the answer, Jonesin. Unbelievable, Jonesin. I think we've proven our point. Probably we didn't prove Carole Baskin's innocent, but we definitely proved that she wasn't eaten by tigers. The fake info by the notorious Burden, not Burden, I mean Jonesin.
I don't think the tigers. Well, when they brought up the tigers and stuff, like in the if you want to call it a documentary, I was kind of like, I don't know nothing about tigers whatsoever. I have 2 cats, and they're they're nothing compared to that.
So
But
if
I
anyone
didn't
goes
think.
missing, we're gonna say your cats ate them.
Well, here's a fun fact: if
Mm.
you pass away in your home, natural causes, whatever, and nobody finds you, and you have cats, the food runs out, they will eat your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. Please don't eat me. I'm looking at
If
my
that's the
cat
case,
right now.
if that's the case, Burden's got some trouble because she's got way more cats than you.
I only have 2.
She's gonna be devoured by all her cats in our house. You better be careful. She better feed those cats well when she's sleeping. But anyway, Olivia might find the water bottle. Yeah, she might find the water bottle. That's absolutely true.
What do you mean? What's the water bottle thing? I don't keep up with
What are
everybody
you
else.
just typing that, Tony? Yeah. One of the YouTuber, I think it was Brian Laundrie. They found someone claimed they found the water bottle looking around, and it was just like they just bullshit or something like that. I'm trying to
Is
remember
it
which.
just a fucking water bottle?
Yeah, I'm not sure too many about that, but it was like a little joke. But yeah. Right, I have 5 cats. Yeah, you're done for, Father LeGrand. You're gonna be eaten by your cats and your dog. Your dog will probably eat you before your cats. It'll be like,
No, actually, the cats would first. Cats are more primal than dogs. Dogs are more
yeah.
domesticated.
But anyone has any questions about what we went through a little bit, or maybe like things we didn't highlight or point out before we skedaddle?
I feel like we didn't say his name. We always said Carole Baskin's husband.
Yes,
His name is Don Lewis.
We did talk about the septic tank. It was installed years later. We showed that in a mini little video.
They also said that in the I think they said it in the first.
Do I have to replay the septic tank? We already played that part. It was basically they installed that years afterwards. He went missing, so he couldn't be buried there.
Yeah, and there's permits and stuff for a septic tank, so
and she wouldn't bury
documents.
And she wouldn't bury him in her land because they do a lot of construction there.
She got land too, like right after the 5-year wait, declared dead. Did she get the land, or did she have to sell it? Like, I don't understand, because he did have land not only here but in Costa Rica.
Gabby Petito's got. Okay, I got you, Gabby Petito. My bad, wrong one. 4 dogs.
Oh, Gabby Petito's water.
I went back and watched it. Yep, the septic tank. So couldn't be buried under the septic tank or around it. So that's an impossibility. So.
How the construction company you have to have professionals put in a septic tank?
No, the whole theory is that she was buried under it, but the fact is the septic tank was put in after he went missing, basically.
But how? What, like, while they're installing the tank, is she like, hold up, guys, just let me throw this bag down there?
No, it would be there before. Like something. I mean, pull up.
Do you guys know how deep a septic tank goes?
Probably not, honestly. I've never installed a septic tank, to be honest with you.
My Vovo had a septic tank, and it was in there.
Let me see. I think I tossed. Let me just scroll the video.
Josen said, "Make sure you catch her opening to the mine to her live, fool."
Oh, we will. Yeah, we'll show you the damn septic tank one more time before we skedaddle. Let me see.
Carole admits to having 2 septic tanks. Yeah, she has she has a mansion. That's the thing too. So,
but that was installed after he went missing, and also like I think the butcher block thing was removed. Like she didn't really have a butcher block there. I honestly don't think she did it, to be honest with you guys. I really don't.
I think anything's possible. Honestly, when money is involved, anything is possible. And you never know. She could have promised this hitman money once he was declared dead.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, anything is possible. It's going to be a mystery. It's going to be something we're not going to know about ever.
Yeah.
And then it's going to turn into like an urban legend that like all urban legends. Don't be Carole Baskin. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like a Lorena Bobbitt thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think, like, personally, that the whole situation is probably never going to be solved, and It is what it is. But
Yeah.
I think, like, most likely, it's not going to be. I just don't think she did it. I honestly think she basically. I think she definitely forged the documents. I think that's definitely a possibility.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's probably after the fact that he went missing. I think he got involved with something he didn't get involved with. And I don't think the septic tank is possible to do. So, it is what it is. It is what it is, It is what it is.
We'll never know. It's gonna be one of those things that we're always going to. Well, not really. Like, I really don't even think about it. Like, it is what it is. Wasn't she just on Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, she was, and then they basically made a commercial, the family.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So that's pretty much what happened with the whole situation.
That poor family though. Those kids just want to find their dad. They just want peace, and I get it.
Yeah.
Anybody who loses a family member and it's missing, they want that peace, and they're not gonna get it, and that's the sad part. But also, we do not condone going to Carole Baskin's property and harassing her, and don't act like detectives, because we're not. We're a reaction channel.
Yeah, I have a Leach Fields. She's just as creepy as JLR. Hey, she's gonna sue you for that.
Well, see, that's the thing too. She sues just as much.
Leach and Field. Carole admits to having 2 septic tanks. Oh shit! Burns breaking. Let me see.
She has a big enough property, and plus she has it's a cat rescue. She probably has a couple septic tanks because there has to be public bathrooms.
Let's see. Let me see.
Are building permits public?
We're gonna let's see. Because that came out a year ago, and that was afterwards. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's actually an article that discusses that. 2 septic tanks. Maybe Burns broke in the case. Maybe they didn't. They checked They looked at the wrong septic tank. Maybe Burns figured it out.
But do you guys know how deep a septic tank has to be, and how big a septic tank is? That it holds a lot of shit. Like, I doubt she buried 20 feet into the ground or something like that.
Yeah.
To you know what I mean? Like,
let me see. Let's see, Burden. Let's see what Burns sent me an article. Let me read it. All right. TMZ. Burden.
Oh God, TMZ.
Burden. No, I'm joking. Carole is the shooting down the allegation her missing husband is buried on a property inside a septic tank. CB claims the rumors were started by disgruntled employees who was fired 3 years after Don's disappearance. Carole says she would have looked inside the septic tank to see if he fell in, if the theory held water. Speaking of water, she also says that she wasn't much rain the year Don went missing and doubts he drowned. Carole says she doesn't recall the septic tank needing to be filled with dirt, and posits the dirt could have been used for something else on the property. The case of Carole Baskin's disappeared husband, Don Lewis, is going to root of Don't Fuck with Cats, with the online group claiming it's dug up a massive and crappy clue about where his body might be. Jack Smith, the spokesman, now repping Don's family, tells us he and his group of internet sleuths joined forces earlier this year after the premiere of Tiger King and formed a Facebook group, Search for the Truth About Don's Still Unsolved Disappearance in 1992. It says yards filled receipt 120. It looks like some sort of water Wingate receipt. It says J&J Trucking, Tampa, yard filled dirt. And it says 18th and has like a handwritten. Well, we're told the group believes it's discovered a new lead tied to an existing theory about Don, namely that he is allegedly buried on his and Carole's animal sanctuary property under a septic tank. According to Jack, the research team has obtained the actual receipts and permits paperwork for the septic tank installation. Carole has publicly acknowledged 2 septic tanks, one that she claims was installed well before Don's disappearance and other installed well after. Okay, let me read that. Publicly acknowledged 2 septic tanks, one that she claims was installed well before Don's disappearance, another was installed well after. But if you believe what Jack Coe claims, these receipts show a septic tank system was in fact worked on and installed right around the time of Don's disappearance 23 years ago this month. They claim the receipts show permit to install septic tanks was pulled on August 4th, 1994, and that work of such systems were completed by and before 15th later. That the same month with the mold of dirt delivered to Carol's address on the day prior. So what does that mean? Question mark. According to Don's family and his crack Facebook team of investigators, it points to the possibility that Carole wasn't truthful about her timeline, and that Don may very well be underground, like Joe Exotic himself suggested. We're told the group will turn this finding and other they claim to have. Okay, so theory 1. Okay, so there's still a possibility that she's in the septic tank. He's in the septic tank, but on the punishment. But what was the dirt used for? Hi, Nick. I don't know. I personally think he's kidnapped, but either way, I mean, maybe JLR will go there and he'll start bringing the shovel and digging in the septic tank, and maybe he'll jump in the septic tank to look for the body. But
no, Nick, I'm not. Sorry, no, Nick, I'm not playing a game. I just forgot how. I don't know how to turn it off.
Fucking amateur. But anyway, I have
no fucking idea. But it's good to have a little thing so you just don't stare at us.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely like off. Let me see.
Only the septic tank was a crappy theory, but Grandma Sherry could.
Yeah, so Byrne thinks he's buried under the septic tank. So, okay, what we got to do is when the sanctuary's open, we got to all go there with shovels and dig under the septic tank.
Oh, don't give that guy ideas. He's still there. He has to be. If that was only a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of days ago. He lives in Florida. You will love the dancing goats, Nick. The dancing goats will help you. See that? At least it's something. Like you're not just staring at an avatar. So
those are not goats. Those are dragons.
Oh, those are dragons?
Yeah,
they look like goats to me.
Well, because anything that has horns on their head are going to look like goats to you. But they're dragons.
If he doesn't have wings,
they do. They do have wings. It's just they don't have it a part of their outfits.
Okay, goats. But anyway, that's pretty. Do you have anything you want to add? Or are we good?
No, we good. This is our show. I hope you guys liked it, and please don't harass Carole Baskins, and y'all just keep safe.
Yeah, all right. And I'm just gonna leave you off with one thing before we leave. We have to play the song just in case everyone missed it. We have to play it one more time.
Oh, we're gonna. Okay.
We're gonna leave it out. We're gonna have. This is my. Here you go. We're gonna play it. All right. We're going to play the song for us as our intro out. Are you going to? All right. You got to play? I put it in the backstage.
Oh, sorry.
No, Carole is the heroine of the story. All the other greedy people just wanted money and glory. Carole Baskin is innocent and you shouldn't judge her. And Howard is her strong, new, dominant lover. Carole is as cool as a cat can be. You ain't gotta pay 10 grand or 3. Shit, I'll go to Tampa and hit that for free. She puts the ass in assassinate, if you ask me. They say she killed her ex-husband. It wasn't her. Then she fed him to the tigers. It wasn't her. Then she got all of his money. It wasn't her. They never even found a body. It wasn't her. Then she got a new lover. It wasn't her. There ain't nothing to uncover. It wasn't her. Carole, you know I believe ya. He probably flew to Costa Rica. Carole came in, her and Don had an argument, just a little harmless fight.
Hey, you cool cats and kittens. This is Carole at Big Cat Rescue.
It's the ending that gets me. It's Carole. Hey, you all cats and kittens, cool cats and kittens. She does that in all her videos.
And that's their happily married second marriage, guys.
Which is funny, but also weird. Because this is the thing. If you didn't know Carole, you'd be like, that is adorable. Like, that's cute. To me, that's cute. Yeah, but now that you know Carole and that she could have been involved, you're kind of like, ooh.
All right. Well, guys, nice talking to you. You have a good one. See you on Thursday. Bye.
Yeah, y'all keep safe out there.